What's good, family? Today we're going to go through a bunch of settings, some secret stuff, very important stuff that's going to help you big time overall for your game when it comes to shooting and overall just gameplay wise. A lot to cover. We're going to get into it quickly. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe, and comment if you rock with me. Going down. So, first things first, even if you're playing in my career or whichever mode, right here, features is where you go into settings. And just to start off, guess what? Your settings are determining your my career, for example. You can't change it in my career anymore. You have to come out here in order to put the difficulty to whatever it is that you want. So take a second and set this up ahead of time. You want 12-minute quarters? Got to do it in here. No longer can you do it over there. I like turning this off even though I know it's not real, but I just put it on there for the heck of it. But the quick tip for my career people, you want to do things. For me, I turn the camera off, shake off, but if you want to skip cutscenes during games where they do a lot of replays, you could just turn all this off. Personally, I leave it on. I like the cinematics. That's my style, but you can do what you want. Secondary commentary, turn this to Chinese and you won't have any cutscenes. Again, skipping cutscenes, another good way to have the halftime show get cut off. All right. And motion blur, this basically blurs the screen a little bit as you're moving. You don't want that. You want to have it as clear as possible. This is going to help. And the only thing with audio that I'm going to recommend is for content creators. If you're not a content creator, don't worry. Basically going to get a copyright strike anytime you have to be playing, so don't do that. And then we're going to go into controls. All right, so everything is going to be on here. If I don't talk about it, that means you don't need to change it. But right here, this is a big one. So if you don't use a custom jump shot, you can change the settings to fit exactly what you need. And basically each of these have different presets. So jump is the moment you get off your feet and you're in the air. You're going to release the shot. The set shot is when you set your feet and body in motion. Push is when you're about to bend the elbow, and then releases as you're about to let go of the ball. And so, of course, this is going to be different for every person. I don't recommend one or the other. We can test it, but in the end of the day, if your brain is used to just tapping the button, you want to go with jump. You like holding it for a second. I go with release. That doesn't mean it's better. Just be clear. Then the next one you want to change here is passive, dribble, and switches. This is super important. This right here just basically auto dribbles for you. If you don't want that, you control the game on merit. Another big thing that I'm not going to go too deep into here because it would be like its own video to break it all the way down. But basically, profile, this is a thing where you can decide two different ways. Openness means it'll pass to the person who's the most open. And direction is about what you do with your left stick. Default allows you to control that and what the game offers. I personally don't change it for a couple of weeks until I just feel that the game is playing like, then maybe I'll tweak it, and you'll probably see a video if you guys leave it in the comments. All right, and then another mechanic, which I don't know why they're doing this, but basically auto passing. It's going to throw lobs instead of regular passes. And don't get it twisted. This is cool for somebody who doesn't know the game and just wants it to do everything for it. But you're gonna get some bad plays. Sometimes you might do a bounce pass, sometimes you do a regular pass or a lob when you feel like it, different buttons. But this is not good. So take it off, good to go. Okay. And then a lot of these are preference. For example, who to guard. Doesn't make you better or worse. It's a choice of visuals fluttering you if you have it on. Personally, I'm on controller, so I turn off triggers. I don't feel like I need that at all. And for rebounds, if you're a dominant big man and you truly want control, you want to drop this down. The way this works, this is like aim assist. Okay, in basketball terms, it's aim assist. If I put it all the way up, the moment I go to box out, it's just gonna grab onto whatever's next to me. It's like a magnet. This isn't good for a center who's actually skilled. You want to drop this down. But I am a point guard, so I'm leaving it at 50 where it is at default. But when I pull out my center, I drop this down to about 15 to 10, depending on the year. So for me, 15 to 10 is where it's at. Okay. That is just the start of some settings. We got a lot more to break down for you. Quick one here with 2K beats. Personally, I turn them all off. They have a new feature that lets you just turn them all off because I make content caught up. Remember, every season they put in new music, so you have to disable that music as well. Be careful and mindful of that. Okay. This isn't a video for offline play and going too crazy into it, but personally, if I can, I turn off things, play calling, the communications, and everything. Well, for the most part, it works just fine. Now we're gonna go into the shots and we're gonna talk about this type of stuff. This is very important. I don't want to go through every single one of these because most of this is personal preference, like the sound and things like that. It's your choice. It's not going to make you a better shooter. I promise you, the people who are lying to you, none of this matters. But shot meter does matter. You turn it on, it's fine if that's how you like to play, and you need a meter and you feel like I can't shoot without it, that's perfectly fine. Okay, and you want to pick a large meter so you can see it a little better. I have no excuses. Then selecting a specific one that is stable, meaning that it's pretty straightforward. You know, things like this is cute, but it ain't popping. Like you might not time it as good every time. It's a little weird. So I personally like things like simple stuff that we all know, love, like the Comet. Pretty straightforward. It's bigger as you go, so you want to. This is a good one. And then I just use personally curve default basically. It works fine, and you can just pick whichever one you want. Now I want to say this: turning this off is the best way to go, and I'll explain. Gives you the boost for shooting and all of that good stuff, but I'll explain how to get better. Of course, I have a video for shooting. Basically, you put on all feedback. You make sure that coverage and timing is on. I turn everything else off. But what this does is it tells me if I'm timing it slightly early, slightly late, and I can adjust. So it is a meter in my own head. Oh, it's a little late. I got to let it go a little earlier. And that muscle memory kicks in after a while, and it really helps you do well. Take the time and put that into your game. You'll be okay. And the rest of these are preference about visuals, like where do you something placed, all that good stuff. None of it actually plays a role. I wouldn't say this is true settings, but when you start the game, you have to have your specialization picked, all right? So go in here right after you upgrade your character a little bit, go in there and lock in for that. There's a lot of little things like this that are very, very cool this year that you can do and get some buffs for the game. For example, these you're basically collecting points, and every time you get a point you can unlock. You want to unlock the attributes or the ability. Maybe I want the attributes from this. I'll press unlock. I'll get it. Okay. And then another big thing that you want to think about outside of the quest, and this is not really settings directly, but it kind of part of it, is this right here. This has some cool rewards. I'm actually pretty hyped. I want to see if somebody can get to 5 million. I would love 5K, never mind a million, and these cap rates. Definitely doable, and gotta work for it. Those are some of the settings for you. Hopefully this is a helpful guide to get you started for the day and then help you progress for the future. Right? We got a lot of guides, tips, and tricks. Should be on the channel, so go check it out. Hope that was helpful. See you on the next one.